Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday at this very hour, we exposed how Chinese mind games have fallen flat. But today, ladies and gentlemen, our brave forces have crushed the New Year propaganda being peddled by the People's Liberation Army troops of China. It wasn't China's red flag, but our Tiranga that was flying high on January 1st in the Galwan Valley. The counter-strike comes days after China released a propaganda video showing that it holds complete control over the Galwan Valley. The pro-China lobby that was quick to rain fire on the central government after falling for Chinese psychological operations are today completely silent. Rahul Gandhi trained his guns at the center saying, and I quote, that only the tricolor looks good in Galwan. Modi ji, break your silence. Today, Rahul Gandhi is silent on the truth that only one flag was unfurled in the Galwan Valley, and that was our Tiranga. Another Congress strongman, Mallikarjun Kharge, branded the center as a mute spectator to China's stunt. Today, completely mum and claim that PM is scared to even utter a word against China. And today, he's oblivious of the fact that the pictures that have been officially tweeted by our ministers, unlike China, which released its video unofficially via its propaganda machinery. Those who dared to put a question mark on the valor of our braves need to answer tonight. But today, will they muster the courage to apologize, not just to the government, but to the Indian army, which is important? Because there can be politics between political parties. But why drag national security and our armed forces into it? And that's the only question that was asked today. Listen in to what the BJP asked the opposition.
It must be shown as to what provisions are there in the contract signed between Rahul Gandhi and the Gandhi family and the Chinese, because of which such kind of fakery is peddled by Rahul Gandhi on a daily basis only to undermine our Indian armed forces.
Now you rightly said it's a Chinese propaganda. But the problem is there is an extended arm of Chinese propaganda in India also. There's Congress Party, National Congress Party. And Rahul Gandhi is the spokesperson of that party. Well, when will Rahul Gandhi tell us what was the agreement which he signed with the Communist Party of China?
So the legitimate question on the news are tonight, should those army doubters today apologize? That's the question and that's the debate. Times Now exposes China. That's the hashtag and the debate coming up.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And joining me tonight is Dr. Sambit Patra, national spokesperson of the BJP. Also with me this evening, Anand Ranganathan, author. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, studies China very closely, defense expert, joins us this evening. Vivek Srivastava of the CPI, political analyst, joins me tonight on the News Hour. Joining me this evening is Advocate Srivastava as well. And of course, my first question goes to Congress leader Kamruddin Zaman Chaudhary. And Mr. Chaudhary, I want to ask you, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and rightly so, raised the question that there is only one flag that looks nice in Galwan. And tonight, while we are discussing this, that flag is really the Tiranga, and that's flying in Galwan. Why is Mr. Rahul Gandhi silent today? And do you still have any doubts about where in Galwan is this flag flying? Can you hear me, Mr. Chaudhary? Why don't you take that question, Advocate Srivastava?
Sudhir, me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I don't speak for the Congress, so I'm not going to
Sorry,
take that.
Advocate Abhishek Sudhir. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Look, I don't speak for the Congress, so I'm not going to take that question as a Congress sympathizer or supporter. I am neither. I think it's best not to react to videos, instantly, and I think the Congress has learned that lesson. That being said, what I will say is it's going to be a tricky year for Indo-China relations. Xi Jinping is seeking a third term as General Secretary of the Communist Party of China. You're going to have a lot of instances where China is going to try to provoke India. We need to be cautious, but we need to be firm. I think today the video of the Indian Army raising the flag, I think that was a good move. I think that was smart. I think the next thing we need to respond on is we need to respond to this letter that the Chinese embassy has written to our MPs like Rajiv Chandrasekhar and Jairam Ramesh, wherein they have essentially called them out, chastised them for attending a reception hosted by the Tibetan parliament in exile. So it's going to be a tricky year for Indo-China relations. China does not want to upset the US. So I think, if Xi Jinping feels like he's losing his grip on power or that his third term as secretary is in doubt, I think he's going to try to provoke India. So we need to be cautious and firm. That's all. That's my take on the subject.
Cautious and firm is the right strategy, but wonder why the Congress loses sight of that. And Kamruzaman Chaudhary, if you can hear me, I want to ask you this question. The Tiranga is flying in Galwan and the pictures. I think we still have an audio problem with him. Vivek Srivastava, yes. The Tiranga is flying there, but there were many in the opposition who actually fell for the propaganda video that was put out by China. And China does this very, very often. Vivek Srivastava, is there no cap on the number of times that the opposition is going to fall for this Chinese propaganda?
Absolutely, there is no cap. As long as the Indian democracy exists and we follow the constitution of Ambedkar and we have a parliament, the opposition, whatever be the party, will ask questions. It has the constitutional right and there is nothing wrong in it. And I think instead of making a big issue of the whole thing, if the Ministry of External Affairs had made an official statement, there was no need for a debate. However, if we ask questions and you label all of us as anti-national, Congress anti-national, left anti-national, all social democratic parties which are against BJP anti-national, this is the wrong narrative. We are all the part of the same nation, all the part of the same parliament, all the part of the same state governments. We fight, we win, we lose. So this narrative, 1947 se aaj tak everything is anti-national. If Congress was anti-national and left for the principal opposition party, and we were totally pro-China, if that is your assumption, this country would have broken long time ago.
जरूर पूछिए, सवाल पूछने पे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, लेकिन सवाल वो होने चाहिए जो आपके खुद के हो, information पर आधारित, not सवाल which are based on the false propaganda of the Chinese that is put out and you fall for it hook, line and sinker. And that's the point, Anand Ranganathan, that I'm trying to make to Mr. Vivek Srivastava. But every time he will say, anti-national आपने बुला दिया. The question is, why should we actually buy their this argument of you can't call us anti-nationals because we are asking questions, when every single time there is fake propaganda by China, they fall for it and they ask question based on China's propaganda. Why should we not ask them this question?
No, good evening, Navika, and good evening to all my fellow panelists. No, absolutely, you are right. But, looking at Galwan terrain, many might ask, why protect every inch of it with all your might? Nothing grows on it. Well, let me tell you today what grows on it. Our resolve. Navika, I am disgusted by how our own people, at least I think that our own people, are continuing to peddle this Chinese propaganda. Today, they have been given a fitting response. But I want to make a larger point, and it concerns all those who never lose an opportunity to raise an alarm at every opportunity their masters provides them with. And it is important, Navika, because the very same people thought nothing of Chinese transgressions before 2014, including the communists during the UPA Congress rule. Let me remind them what they said. I quote, the India-China border is not yet defined, and so when the Chinese make incursions, it only means that they haven't entered our territory, unquote. Did you know China occupied 640 square kilometers of eastern Ladakh during the UPA, a fact reiterated by UPA's own foreign secretary. Did you know China managed to make nearly 600 incursions into the Indian side between 2009 and 2013? Did you know on July 12, 2013, the Chinese entered 28 kilometers deep into our territory at Depsang? Did you know on June 17, 2013, the Chinese transgressed deep into Chumar, an incursion the UPA did not disclose for 3 weeks for fear of public anger, forcing cancellation of the defense minister's visit to China? Now, when you quote these facts, what is the response of these Muppets? Oh, this is whataboutery. Well, the truth is that they are acutely embarrassed by their own selectivity. Embarrassed that they were silent when China was bullying us during the UPA. They want to give the impression that China is transgressing only post-2014. Navika, I beg 30 seconds from you. The fact is that the McMahon line and the LAC, unlike the LOC, remains undefined at most places and is categorized under differing perception. Even the status quo is disputed by both sides. So these transgressions are historical. I would have respected all these guys had they raised their voices then, as they are doing now. And that is why indulging in whataboutery to expose their hypocrisy is important. हमारे 640 किलोमीटर दे दिए यूपीए के टाइम पे और अब चिल्ला चिल्ला के पूछ रहे हो कि 1 इंच क्यों दे दिया? कोयले और स्पेक्ट्रम के साथ शर्म भी बेचती क्या?
Well, let me ask Kamru Zaman Chaudhary the question. And Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, if you can hear me, my question to you is, Mr. Rahul Gandhi is in a great position to ask questions. Yes, he must. And asking questions by the opposition is something that keeps this democracy alive. But I want to ask you, Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, one question. And the question is that Rahul Gandhi said that he loves to see the Tiranga in Galwan. The Tiranga is flying and the pictures are here. And may I ask you, just as the country is asking you today, why do you fall for Chinese propaganda every single time? Do you remember April of 2013 when Dr. Manmohan Singh said that we have a long-standing problem with China and we will try and resolve this? Do you remember May 2013 when Dr. Manmohan Singh said, I can't speak in Parliament about this entire issue because there are talks and there is nothing that cannot be resolved through talks. And then do you remember his visit to China in October 2013 at a time when India was under pressure and definitely the UPA was under pressure trying to resolve? Did anybody raise questions then? Why did Mr. Rahul Gandhi not question Dr. Manmohan Singh at that time? Why does he remember all the questions in the last 7 years, Mr. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary? That's the question the country is asking tonight.
Yeah, Navika, I believe you must have sat over at least 100 debates on India-China disputes till date. But out of the thousands of questions that Rahul Gandhi has asked of the government regarding the status at present of the Indo-China conflict, what is happening? What happened on that fateful day when 20 of our brave soldiers were martyred in the Galwan Valley? What happened when in 2017 first and recently just 10 days ago, some 15 places of Arunachal Pradesh were renamed by the Chinese according to their website? Who will give this reply? How many acres of land have been taken away by China in the Galwan Valley or Indo-China border? Who will reply to this? Instead of that, you find something that may be a mistake like Yogi did. Yogi Baba, he picked up a photo of Calcutta flyover and he is doing a propaganda in Uttar Pradesh. There is a mismatch of what has been shown out on that particular day and what Rahul Gandhi said. Rahul Gandhi said, we should be proud of Indian flag in the Galwan Valley. That is the moot point. Now, whenever we question the opposition, the BJP leaders and the party, that time the entire BJP mechanism comes against us and said that, look, they are against the Indian army. So that is the narrative that BJP has been successful as of now. We do not need to be apologetic. Rather, the Bharatiya Janata Party should come out that its government needs to bring out a white paper what exactly is happening in the Galwan Valley. Rather than questioning the Congress party, the entire country is asking questions of the Bharatiya Janata Party's government, that what exactly is the status on the Galwan border, on the Indo-China border. That I believe my learned friend Sambit ji will be able to reply to that. Before that, it is all about whataboutery and the hypocrisy of the BJP government.
Dr. Sambit Patra,
that's all I can say on this
respond
issue.
to them, because Mr. Rahul Gandhi very interested in China, but he will always raise these questions when Chinese will put out their propaganda. Whether it is renaming in Arunachal Pradesh certain areas, whether it is the Chinese flag, all of this propaganda that China does, it's only then that Mr. Rahul Gandhi remembers that there is a problem in China. When Doklam was going on during their own government, when Dr. Manmohan Singh was having problems, there were no problem. He's forgotten the history of 1962, 32,50 soldiers were killed. He's forgotten to 1967. He's forgotten 1987. He's forgotten all of that history of India. He only remembers when China puts out a fake picture, then he must turn to the government to ask questions. So respond
Navika,
to Mr. Chaudhary.
For Sambit ji and his party, India came into existence from 2015.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Navika, good evening, and thank you so much for bringing me into the debate. Now let me be pointed in answering these questions. First and foremost, leaving aside what the Congress and the others are doing, let me come to the point as to what China is doing. China does not want a kinetic war, period. China wants a non-kinetic war. China wants a psychological dominance. China wants to win through propaganda war. China does not want to fire a bullet yet through cyberbullying, yet through non-kinetic means, yet through biological warfare, etc., etc., etc. China wants to dominate the world. And of course, China wants to take on India because India is winning a name for itself, a space for itself in the global arena. And the irony and the sad part is, China is being successful because there are certain players in India who are following into this propaganda war, who are questioning their own government, who are questioning their own army. What does Chinese want? Chinese want mistrust to be built amongst the people of India about its own government, about its own army personnel, and that's what is happening. We have been questioning army. I'm so saddened today, Navika. I'm so saddened today that to an answer which Chinese and the Chinese supporters were wanting, the Indian army had to literally answer. I mean, literally answer, because there was a sense of mistrust, number one. Please don't take Mr. Rahul Gandhi's tweet as an accidental tweet. These tweets are not accidental tweets. Let me tell you, these tweets have been consistent. They are conspiratorial. Why they are conspiratorial? Remember, surgical strike, there was mistrust against the Indian army. They wanted proof. They wanted evidence. The Indian army should come out with proof. Airstrike, again, Rahul Gandhi tweets, wants evidence. And remember, when in fact 20 of our Jawans were Shaheed, they were fighting with hundreds of the PLA army people. Hundreds ko mara hai. Uske baad, when they were hospitalized, some of them were hospitalized, Congress party tweeted that this hospital scenario is a bunkum scenario. This is a made-out scenario. No such hospital exists. Army had to come out and clarify, no, it's Corona times. This is a conference room which has been doubled up as a hospital. Remember, army had to clarify. So you see, the army has to come out and clarify every time when China wants. The mistrust has been gradually built in India. Number one, this is not just coincidence. This is conspiratorial. Rahul Gandhi in Italy suddenly tweeting about Indian flag, the Chinese flag, without knowing anything, because there is a design to it. Thirdly, and very importantly, remember why China acts differently with India now than when the Congress or when Dr. Manmohan Singh was in power? I would just draw your attention to what the then Defense Minister A.K. Antony had to say on the floor of the Parliament. He said, the best policy of the Indian government is not to build any infrastructure along the border, because China is very powerful. We would not be able to tackle the Chinese problem. So the best policy for India is don't do anything. Since Mr. Modi came to power, he has started doing it. Infrastructure is being built. India is becoming powerful. We are taking on things head on. That's why China is worried. And lastly, to my good friend Sudhir ji was absolutely right when he said, just a second, to my good friend Sudhir ji, who was absolutely right that caution and firm, these are the two mantras which should be in possession of Indian army, in possession of Indian political arena. Mr. Sudhir, do you doubt that Indian political system, Indian army, they're not cautious and they're not firm? They are both cautious and they are firm. They always have been. The irony is we doubt the caution and we doubt the firm thanks to the propaganda of Chinese and thanks to the PLA Premi gang in India.
Okay, I just want to respond to you, Dr. Patra. I think, look, we can disagree, we can debate. You come from the party of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Mr. Vajpayee spent most of his political life in opposition. So today, when you say that what Rahul Gandhi has done is conspiratorial and you somehow seem to suggest that Rahul Gandhi is in cahoots with the PLA or Xi Jinping, I think that's a bit unfortunate, don't you think? I mean, you might not agree with Rahul Gandhi. I don't agree with Rahul Gandhi on many things. But to say that he's an agent or a puppet or a PLA premi, I think that's unfortunate, right? We all love India. We all love our country. We disagree. I disagree with the Prime Minister. I disagree with your party on on the approach you've taken with China. But the larger point is dissent is at the very heart of democracy, Dr. Patra. Dissent is at the heart of democracy. Do you want us to become another China where we just fall in line behind Prime Minister Narendra Modi? The fact that we question everything, the argument...
Valid question raised by Mr. Sudhir. Respond to that, Dr. Patra.
Yes. In fact, thank you, Mr. Sudhir. You have been very humble, courteous, and this is the way we should debate. Of course, democracy and dissent are married to each other. They should move together. And if democracy and dissent are divorced, then what we get is a China. Let me give you an example as to how India is different from China. When we had Colonel Babu, who took upon himself to protect the integrity of the country, and we lost 20 brave Jawars, that unfortunate night in 2020 April, remember, hundreds of Chinese soldiers from PLA were also killed. Look at the difference between India and China. India, we gave utmost respect to 20 of our Jawans. Every Indian literally cried, saying that we have lost something amongst ourselves. But look at China. Despite the fact that they lost the PLA Jawans, they did not utter a single sound. These 100 Jawans were in fact carried in the darkness of the night and they were buried in graves which were not even marked. Thanks to the media world today, thanks to the cyber world today, that we ultimately came to know that they were unmarked graves. We could even see the graves. This is the difference between India and China.
Absolutely.
Please, let's not compare India with China. Secondly,
a quick
for God's sake, just as we cannot compare India with China, please don't compare, for God's sake, Atal Bihari Vajpayee with Rahul Gandhi. Atal Bihari Vajpayee would not translate a single centimeter. Sudhir Bhai, Atal Bihari Vajpayee would not transgress a single centimeter or fall prey of the propaganda of China. Astonishingly, consistently, this is what Mr. Rahul Gandhi has done. What was the reason otherwise as to why he was found underneath the tent of the Chinese agents when Doklam standoff was taking place? During a standoff where the whole country is involved. Why do we have the whole Gandhi family underneath the Chinese tent? And that too, they did not agree to the same. It was Times Now which exposed the pictures, and only then Mr. Surjewala and the Gandhi family had to accept that, well, yes, it was the Gandhis who were under the tent of the Chinese.
Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, till date, that MOU detail has not been put out, and we can put out those pictures. There was money received by the RG Foundation, Rajiv Gandhi Foundation, and there was an MOU that was signed by Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi looking on. Not one detail has come. चुप्पी तोड़ो, आप बोल रहे हैं प्रधानमंत्री को, आपने कौन सी चुप्पी तोड़ ली जो MOU था चाइना के साथ उस पर?
Everything that we have done with a particular political party in China, that is in the public domain. There is nothing to be hidden. Whatever funds might have been received by a political party in India, it's within the government domain. They can as well check it, and if there is any doubt, then why don't you file a case and investigate it? You have got the CBI, you have got the ED, you have got the other agencies with you. Why don't you order an inquiry, just without going about doing the whataboutery? But the main question that I want to ask you out here is, when the defense minister of the country differs in the statement with the prime minister of the country that nobody has incurred into China, the prime minister says, reported by the defense minister, हाँ हमारा यहाँ पे कुछ आए हैं, घुसपैठ हुआ है. That's the point where the opposition is to question the government. Now we are seeing a reverse mechanism from the media itself. I don't blame you, Navika, but the point is that that when instead of questioning the government, instead of questioning the Bharatiya Janata Party's government, you are questioning Rahul Gandhi and my party on such a flimsy ground that China has replaced, or the Chinese flag was not hoisted in the Indian soil. That was a big mistake. We accept it.
Before I come to
But the
Dr.
Indian
Patra,
flag is
before
fluttering
I
there.
come to Dr.
That
Patra,
is
let's get
also a
on to
proud
facts
moment
and
for
let me
India.
get in Abhijit Iyer Mitra. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, is it in public domain on the details of the MOU between China and the Congress party? Number one. And number two, who do you think is transgressing the norms?
If it is not
the
there, then
government
please order an
or the Congress
investigation.
party and the opposition?
So I honestly don't know what the norm here is, Navika, but I can tell you something very clearly. I am just one person, bald, fat, middle-aged man, who is able to triangulate pictures very quickly every time the Chinese put them out. Now, Mr. Kamruzzaman asked 3 specific questions, and I will give you 3 specific answers to them. Okay, he asked what happened on that fateful night in Galwan. If you refer to my piece in the Deccan Herald, I have written exactly what happened. It was literally what the Prime Minister said, "Humne ghus ke unko mara." We went in there to break a specific water blockage that they had done. We lost men. They lost a lot more men. And again, I've written about it again with satellite imagery. And mind you, this is satellite imagery, so it's not up to question and things like that, right? There are photos out there. Second, he asked what has happened in this specific case. And in this specific case, what has happened is China has basically staged a flag-raising ceremony in the general area of Galwan, about 1 kilometer away from where the disengagement zone was meant to be. All right. Now, all of this, we were able to triangulate literally using publicly available imagery, which was available to every media house. And given how much the Congress pays to consultants and things definitely open to them as well, that they should have been able to triangulate this very, very quickly before making statements. The issue here is they don't bother fact-checking. They don't even bother using that despicable stream of... Vivek, I did not interrupt you. Please do not interrupt me. Vivek, please do not interrupt me while I am talking. It is bad manners. It is bad manners. Please don't interrupt.
It is not a question of manners. Opposition is not
supposed to
very
much
the
a question
government.
of manners.
No, absolutely not.
Now,
Are we running the government? Is the Prime Minister running the government?
Vivek Srivastava, pardon me, but allow him to complete his point. If you want to counter him, I'll give you your
I am simply
opportunity.
asking him a simple question.
Go on, Mr.
It is
Mitra.
the government which
No.
I will come back to you, Vivek Srivastava.
All right.
Vivek Srivastava, I will come back to you. Calm down. Allow Abhijit to make his point and then I'll come to you. Yes, Abhijit.
Now, the problem here is one of due diligence. On one hand, you say you don't trust your own government because it has fascistic tendencies. There is no more fascistic government in existence that has locked up 1 million of its own citizens for being Muslim in concentration camps in China, and they're hiding all of that. And you want to trust that government blindly, that within minutes of them putting something up, you are willing to trust them blindly.
Why should I trust a government?
The problem here is
The
problem here is that
what China is doing, how does it matter to us? Why don't you discuss what's happening within India?
I am discussing.
Who is answerable to the population of the country?
I am discussing. They are absolutely responsible, but you are also responsible when you raise questions to fact check. You know, you can't just raise enemy propaganda as fact.
I mean, we have to raise questions and we will raise questions.
There is a problem here.
And we have to question it.
Abhijit, I truly agree. I truly agree whatever you are saying. But the running government of the day has posted picture in his advertisement, massive advertisement, citing photos from different this thing. That also is a mistake. But then you cannot count one mistake of a particular government in power and a particular opposition party. We are bound to commit mistakes because we do not have that much of data that the government of the day has. That is an accepted fact. But then will the Prime Minister or will the Defence Minister come out clean and say what exactly is happening in Galwan? Can they come out and say,
Mr. Saban,
can they categorically deny that China has not occupied any territory of Indian Union?
Let me answer your question. I am one individual and I am able to geolocate. You are an organization with several thousands of crores of property. Are you telling me you do not have the expertise to able to,
No,
or even
absolutely not.
willing
We are
to
not
hire
running the government.
expertise,
The
willing to
opposition is
geolocate?
not running the government, sir. Defense is not
No,
under the
it's not the
opposition.
question of the expertise.
That is not the point,
India
Vivek.
is
I
under you, not
understand
under the
your
opposition.
felicity with
Well,
English
well,
language.
well, let me get in 1 minute. Before I go to Dr. Patra, let me get in Anand Ranganathan. And Dr. Anand Ranganathan, I want to ask you, there have been 3 face-offs between India and China in the Congress regime. 1962, around 3,250 Indian soldiers were killed. India lost about 43,000 square kilometers of land captured by China in Aksai Chin. That's the size of Switzerland. In 1967, a face-off with Chinese troops lasted for over 2 months in Doklam Plateau. And in this brief, intense conflict, we lost about 200 Indian soldiers. In 1987, when there was a face-off going on, this is what Rajiv Gandhi told the parliament. There has been tension on our border with China. We want a peaceful settlement of the border issue. It will need wisdom and statesmanship. It will need vision and firmness. Firmness is included in wisdom. It is this perspective that should guide our countries in seeking a solution to the problem. And all this culminated to another round of border talks in August, when both sides agreed to end military confrontation, even as they decided to pull back, which finally ended with China extending an olive branch to Rajiv Gandhi. And this was followed by Rajiv Gandhi's visit to Beijing, and that's how it went. And I've told you about April 2013. The question I want to ask you is, when there is a standoff going on, every prime minister, even from the Congress party, whether it was Dr. Manmohan Singh or it was Rajiv Gandhi before him, they all sought time to deal with this situation without going public. You know, with every inch square mark on a map and shown to the parliament. How come their questions arise only when this face-off is happening at this moment about transparency?
Yes, Navika, I hope I will not be interrupted by Comrade Vivek. First of all, I object in strongest possible term to my good friend Abhijit calling Vivek as short, bald and middle-aged. I mean, he's not middle-aged. But I want to come back to the question at hand. Mr. Kamruzaman is quite right, and so is the surprisingly affable Mr. Sudhir. I think it's his New Year resolution to be very affable. Good luck. Well done, Sudhir. But, he is absolutely bang on. It's not just the opposition. All of us must demand answers from the government. I would certainly never, like Mr. Chaudhary and Mr. Sudhir, never want to give away even a square, forget about inch, a femtometer of our land to China. So all the questions, yes, I demand to be asked. But is the opposition asking those questions? No. They are peddling Chinese propaganda. And Sudhir has agreed, and he said yes, and I'm very happy that he said so. As for Mr. Chaudhary, I actually preempted you, if you don't mind my saying so, by saying that any question that I pose about what was happening during UPA, you're going to brand as whataboutery. All right, brand it as whataboutery. But as I said, I agree with you condemning any transgression that is happening now. But will you please, for heaven's sake, condemn the transgression that happened during UPA? Will you please accept that India gave away 640 square kilometers of our eastern Ladakh land to China, as was accepted by your own foreign secretary? Chaudhary साहब, ये तो कर दीजिए. मैं आपके साथ हूँ.
Mr. Chaudhary, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, will you acknowledge and seek forgiveness for that? At least acknowledge that? Yes or no? Yes?
That is the problem, Navika, with our country right now. No, it's not a question of being a yes or no. You know what these people, they are trying to portray now is bring out events from the past, correlate them with the present day happenings, and blame the entire Nehru Gandhi family and the Congress family for whatever happened in the past. For them, it seems India started from 2014.
Not at all.
What happened after 2014? then who is going to answer? We have lost elections. We have lost elections. We have failed to answer to the people of the country during 2014. Now you are in governance. For God's sake, please reply to the country now.
You are talking about questions of the past. They didn't answer then because the situation was active then and details were not permissible to be put out. They won't answer tonight because they say it is belonging to the past. All the onus on giving answers and for complete transparency is on you, Dr. Sambit Patra. So respond to Kamruzaman Chaudhary.
You know, of course, Navika, all the onus lies on the, I would say, shoulders of the government. Of course, we are the ones who are supposed to answer everything on translation happened or not. But remember one thing, I just heard Mr. Kamru as well as others also saying that we don't have the data. We are not aware of what the real fact is, and we cannot fact check. Just imagine, without fact checking, without having the data, without knowing what the truth is, rather than asking the Chinese and calling out their propaganda, what the India's opposition chooses is, the tallest leader of India's opposition chooses to question Indian army and the Indian government, not calling out the Chinese army and the Chinese government, saying that, hey, you are falsifying facts. This is not the fact. Let's check the facts. So you did not check the facts. You started attacking Narendra Modi and you started attacking India, number one. Number two, and very importantly, well, yes, opposition is someone who comes with a bit of responsibility. If you cannot check facts, if you do not have the wherewithal to, in fact, check the fact checks, then for God's sake, you are a troll, not an opposition. And that's what exactly has become of the opposition party today. They have reduced themselves to PLA Premi trolls. They're just trolling because they want Modi gone anyways. Because we have UP elections, because we have other states elections.
That's the moot point. That's the moot point. The opposition is within its rights to ask questions, but falling prey to propaganda, is that also part of the opposition job? And when it is openly declared on the News Hour tonight that they do not have the wherewithal to fact check, then falling for propaganda, raising questions about not just the government, but the army. And why do we say the army? Because I don't think anybody in the government was going to pick up the Tiranga and go to Ladakh. It was always going to be our soldiers who would go there. So questioning the presence of the Chinese flag there and doubting the Tiranga being there is clearly an attack on the army. There is no other way to see this. And clearly, the opposition needs a few lessons in fact-checking and, of course, controlling themselves for falling for Chinese propaganda. That's all there is to it. Questions can be asked. There have to be fora on which these questions have to be raised, and the government is duty-bound to answer them. But the time and the manner will have to be given to the defense concerns and strategic concerns of India. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on debate number 1.